Today we're going to explore a different kind of woman. Uncontacted tribal baddies, apparently. Let's check it out.
I live in the Amazon jungle, and every single day people
He white.
ask me questions that honestly just seem kind of ridiculous until you realize that they aren't. Today I'm answering the biggest questions that people have about living in the Amazon and just the mysteries surrounding the Amazon. Buckle your seats, we're about to be making a cake while telling you some of the most interesting stories we have. At 21 years old,
Well, she's short, so that's great for me. I'm short. I'm pretty sure I'm taller than her, though, so that's cool. Whoa. This guy is what he does, I guess. He's out here. But she's like a 4. She's like a 4.5. Not super great. A lot of their genetics, they're breeding with the same 1,000 people over and over and over, and their population doesn't grow and expand and bring in others. Well, apparently they do bring in others, but not enough. So you tend to get a lot of girls looking very similar, a lot of men looking very similar, same heights, not as much variation. But hey, is she horrible? No, she's not horrible. And she can always make up for it by being sweet, submissive, kind, not nagging you, not thinking it's time to go ruin his day by nagging. You left a sock over here and I need to bring it up right now while you're doing something productive. I need to stop you to make sure you know that because if I don't stand up for myself, shut up. Take off your bra.
moved to the Amazon to live with a tribe. As you can see where I'm at right now, bam, I'm with a baddie tribal girl. So how do I have internet? You know what? You know how I have internet? Whenever the skies are clear, my Starlink satellite, boom, pings down, pings back up, and that's how I have internet. ¿Quién eres?
Tu esposa. Vengo de una...
Back up, and that's how I have internet. ¿Quién eres?
Tu esposa.
Oh, that's his wife.
Vengo de una caracol, cumbia.
Y eres real y vives en la selva y todo eso.
Soy real, vivo en la selva. Me pinto mis maquillajes, shuar.
Speaking of shore girls, there's one coming right over there. ¿Y cómo te llamas?
Me llamo María.
And then here's another one that just popped out of nowhere.
Not a whole bunch of name variation over there either. A lot of Marias. A lot of Jose's, stuff like that. I work with a lot of these guys from Honduras, from Mexico, but most of them are like Guatemala, Honduras. There's another one I can't think of, but they're not bad people, And I'll tell you what, I see them eating home-cooked meals every single day. They do not go a day without home-cooked meals. I mean, stuff you cannot get without cooking. I mean, all these different recipes, beans, rice, protein. It ain't chip and dip and a tortilla. It's like extravagant looking little meals made up for them. I seen there's a guy that is probably 4'9" with a big old belly. I mean, a little chubby guy. The workplace literally had to get him a stool so that he could reach the time clock. So every day he pulls out this stool and it folds out, and he has to stand on it in order to get his face scanned. This guy showed me a picture of his wife on his phone and of him standing next to her. And I believe they have a kid, something like that. I can't remember if the kid was in the photo. But when I seen his wife, I was like, whoa, blown away. His wife is like a 9. I mean, gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. And this guy is the ugliest thing you ever seen. I mean, I said, wow. And they ain't getting divorces. They're not like these, that's why when these guys come over here, from these places, they don't want to assimilate. Like, so in a way you kind of get it, because it's like, why would you want to assimilate? What are you going to do? Another guy I know, same place. I think he's from a different area, though. Spanish guy, though. He got with a white woman. Some of them do. You know, they come over here single, whatever. He got with a white woman. Now, this guy's tall, handsome, speaks English very well. The other guy I'm talking about with the gorgeous wife, a little short, stumpy guy, no, not very much English at all. But this other guy, been here for probably 10 years, speaks English very well, handsome looking gentleman. And he got with a white woman. And so we would talk every now and then. And one day, he just happened to mention that we were talking about schedules or something, but he just happened to mention that this white woman that he's had these kids with, 2 or 3, 4 kids, she left. She left him and the kids. And he don't know where she is, and she's been gone for some years now. And he just ended up just happening to tell me, let me scratch my nuts here, that he's, you know, raising his kids by himself. And I'm like, what? And I didn't get much more into it, but that's just, you know, that's assimilation versus just coming over here and sticking with your group. And, you know, a lot of these guys, they've been here for 10 years. They don't speak English. They've been here for 10 years, 15 years. Not like they came over here when they were already old. No, they come over here, most of them, when they're young. And no English. And they find another chick of their same ethnicity. She don't speak English either. And you wonder, you know, like, why would they? That's such disrespectful. But you see, like, their families are intact. They can have a beautiful, not, you know, a woman who takes care of herself and who is a feminine woman. We also have one of the guy's sisters got hired on as a janitor. Okay. And she is a bad little mama. Like, she's about a 5. I'd say she's right at, like, she's not ugly, but she's not beautiful. But she's not fat, though. And I see her. She don't speak any English either, but I see her. Like, she has her own car, etc. She's gotten into a little bit of trouble by beating the crap out of some girl who was after her man or something. And so she's a fighter. But I see her and I'm thinking, you know, she's very close to being cooked or being converted, you know. But she doesn't speak English. So she's still within her culture even over here. And so that might be what saves them, you know, in a way.
I don't know how that happened. But honestly, having internet is the most least interesting thing on this list. Whenever I tell people that I live in the Amazon, they're always like, dude, aren't the dangerous animals or the dangerous snakes gonna come and
Won't bugs like get in your shit?
you good or like come and hurt you? And honestly, you should worry about them. I just recently visited her grandma and she was telling me a story where she just got bit by a
She old.
and was in bed for 15 days, absolutely sick. And what they did is they threw a festival for her and painted her body black like a snake. Here, you cannot get bit by a snake.
Cool.
That just means you're done, dude. It's all over. Which everyone thinks Australia is the country that has like the most dangerous animals, but that's just not the truth. It's the Amazon jungle. From giant green anacondas to like shiny.
And this guy, I see, how good would he do? Well, now he'd do good. He's a streamer or whatever, a YouTuber. So maybe now he'd do good. But how good would this guy do? I don't care about the snake. Let's look at him. How good would this guy do in America? Like, come on. His teeth are all right. He's not balding or anything, but he's not much taller than her. From what I see, he looks to be short, like me, most likely. A little body fat. But just from what I see, he probably does much better over there. But even on top of that, he's got a wife that he knows. Like, she ain't speaking English, I see. So he's got a wife that he doesn't have to worry, like, in 5 years' time, she'll leave. If I don't make sure everything stays right for her, she'll leave. The mindset is supposed to be with marriage that you are tied together. Once you make that, just the fact of you can get a divorce at all, unless, let's say serial cheating and lying, like this would have to go on for, a long time. Serial cheating, maybe. That's a maybe. And abuse to the point where there is blood. There has to be blood. And then that's a maybe. Other than those two things, third would be, he or she is like a serial killer, like we'll call it three felons. 3 felons, 3 to 6 felonies. That's a maybe. But the main is abuse to the point of blood, and serial cheating, maybe. What was my point there? But yeah, that just the fact that you can get a divorce, much less now where you don't even really need a reason, or you definitely don't need a reason. That's why people aren't getting married anymore, because there is none. There is no marriage. I would suggest getting, if the old lady is pushing marriage, then get married in the church. No, absolutely no paperwork. Don't do it. And you're fine. Then you're married without, then if she leaves, you're not actually, I think that's how it works. So let's find out. If you get married in a church, does the state recognize that? Hold up. Yes, in the U.S., most countries similar, a church wedding legally recognized by the state, but only if it meets the state's civil requirements. The religious ceremony itself isn't what makes the marriage legal. It's the paperwork tied to it. So, yes, get married in a church, but don't do paperwork. 0 paperwork. As if it never happened. You and her and the people there will know you're married. You can do the rings. You can say you're married. But if something happens in 5, 10 years, 20 years, then you're just single again. Which is why nobody's getting married, because there is no marriage. How can there be a marriage? It's supposed to be that when shit is not working out, when you are completely hopeless, y'all cannot get along, the fighting is worse, everything's horrible, that marriage is specifically there for that time, so that you are tied to each other, so that you have to look in the mirror and say, there's not an option to leave, so what can I do? And you two have to figure it out together, because you can't leave. That's marriage. That's the whole point. And then the mom and the other half of it is the kids shouldn't have to worry by the time I'm 5 or 10, mom and dad are split up, which seems to happen a lot in marriages nowadays. I remember when I was 11, 12, right around the time my mom and dad started having problems, I seen all my friends' parents were splitting up as well. My best friend, the one I, hung out with every week, his parents split. His mom cheated on his dad. And we were 12. We were 11, 12. Maybe 10, 11, yeah. And his dad, was devastated. And the thing about it was, she was pretty. And he paid for everything. She didn't work. He did everything right. They didn't go to church or anything, but they were raising kids. They had a boy and a girl. This is my best friend's family. And I remember being there when his mom and dad were together and there. It was awesome. She used to make chocolate gravy in the mornings. It was pretty cool. And biscuits. And then I remember going there after she was gone. And the kids were still there. And I was just like, thinking back on it, I'm just like, wow, he did everything right. And he lost in the end. But he didn't, because he didn't give up. He found another woman who I wouldn't say was as pretty, but maybe about equal in different ways. I believe she was a nurse. She had one daughter. And they got married. I think her name was Gabby, something like that. But there for a while, shit was weird with them. He was dating different women. I remember he dated this one woman who was, not as young. They were probably about the same age. She was older, but she was richer than they were. She had all this money, and she lived in this house by herself, I'm pretty sure, with her kid. And now that I think about it, I'm thinking she probably did the same thing his ex-wife did and got a bunch of money from it. And now he didn't stay with this one, though. He ended up getting with the nurse. But I remember that, everybody's parents started getting divorced at the same time, in the same year. And a couple years after, it was it didn't stop. Everybody's parents were getting divorced. Insane.
Giant green anacondas to shiny rainbow anacondas and even electric eels. It's like a walking landmine everywhere and anywhere you go, from jaguars to pagas mensual al municipio. So at this stall right here, this is how it works. Besides from the market fee, here
Okay, let's check these two out here. She's actually a little better than his wife. She's right at 5.5 even.
It's no one's business, dude. That's why I told Maria, I'm like, Maria, if I'm ever calling you and I'm asking you for money, it sounds like my... A travel girl is taking me deep into the Amazon jungle to spend 24 hours with her and her indigenous community. My goal is simple: survive the jungle, and to earn the trust of the people who call it home. From a miserable night in the jungle to a race against rising floodwater, I just hoped we'd make it back. And if because it gets rid of all the bullet ants, it gets rid of all the snakes, and it won't, no me pica mi suki. It's because it won't bite my taters down there, and you never want your taters getting bitten.
This guy literally has to go into the wilderness.
So I have the most feared insect on me in the entire insect kingdom. This is the mighty bullet ant. Whew, okay, it's off me. Ooh. And there's a common misconception that bullet ants are after you and aggressive types of insects, and are aggressive types of insects. But in reality, they just want to go on their way. But look how massive and big this bullet ant. They actually do not want to hurt.
There we go.
get down here, so the clothes will really help a lot for all of them.
Not showing much.
Right now
women,
she's
there's
taking me to
probably
her
not a
grandma's
bunch of
house.
them.
And if you ever wondered what a house in the Amazon looks like, this is probably one of the best ones I've seen. So here's her grandma's house right here, made out of wood. Honestly beautiful. And then this is all of her plants. And now I'm at her house.
Okay, I think we'll stop there. Thanks for watching, guys. And don't forget that the truth is important, even if all of us don't care about it. Peace.